Well, I don't know what this guitar is. I haven't opened the case. The chappie that brought it round told me it's not working. But that's all I know about, that it's not working. So let's explore together. Seen these cases before, haven't you? It needs a little bit of work. I'll do something with that too. What have we got? Ooh! And a Gibson SG that has seen much better days. Well, and it also had a lot of play. Right, okay, let's switch the camera. No, let's just lift it off and take it out. We'll find out what all this other stuff is later. Hopefully there's a set of strings in there. We'll see. So it's a Gibson SG. It looks like a proper one. A proper one, like love. Let's get you down a little bit closer and turn off the big lights above my head and close the windows. My goodness, what's the point of having studio lighting if you don't have it properly set up? Now, what do we got? We've got a pretty battered SG. It looks snazzy and nice, like. Wrong knob there, but 3 knobs right. Lots of rust around the things. Yeah, a lot of wear and tear. Different screws on the end of it. It's got a lot of wear. Been played a lot. Just check the knobs. Yeah, that's a little bit loose, but that may not be anything. And there's a serial number there which I'll look up and I'll tell you when I get down to this and get serious with it. Now, how do you take that off? One hopes it's like that there. Right, it is. Nice strap. A Leccato, whatever, and a special, whatever that is too. I haven't seen those before, but I'm sure there's a reason why they're the way they are. Maybe it's to make it handy to take off. Oh. Yeah, okay. But it's coming off for the purposes of this investigation. Sticking out a bit. Boy, this guitar could do with a major service. Oh, it's just coming into me to be fixed at the moment. So one imagines whenever this says fixed, it means excellent action. It looks like the neck's quite bent. Let's just check that, unless it's just my eyes. Let's just see. Yeah, only 50% chance of getting it wrong. No, I can't see. I need my other glasses. I hate being 3/4 blind. 100% blind in both eyes. Right, let's just see what we got. Yeah, there's a large underbow. Not what I call amazing underbow, but at least 20 thou, which to me is unacceptable. Oh dear, look at the state of that there too. Come on, I bring you down closer. Look at the state of that there. It's stinking like love, and that's all rusted. And it's all rusted. Right, okay. Those strings haven't been changed in a million years. I think the Neanderthals have had those strings and used them. So what am I going to do? I'm going to cut off those strings because they're... Oh no, I've done that before. Let's plug in the amplifier. Put the neck up there. And plug in the amplifier. That little rasper thing at the end makes a lot of noise. Right, okay, let's see what we got in the way of sound. Boy, I want to do this guitar properly. That's all rusted. It's all corroded. It's all coming apart here, and there's the rust. Anyway, amplifier on. A bit of noise, and plug it in. Knobs are... Alright, well the knobs are all seized up, but we've got noise, so it's not a wiring problem. Oh dear, oh come on, you come off there. You and you and you. Knobs are very high. I don't have knobs to make it proper again. All right, I need a little bit of Monica in my life. Little bit of whatever. Who's it? What's it? Can't remember the name of it. Wait, what am I going to do? Put you below that and try it that way. Ah, right, that broke the seal. Oh, gee, that's bad. That's bad. This guitar is awful. It needs TLC. You can tell he's a pro guitarist. Doesn't care about his guitar. Is that loose? No, it's tight. Right, that's a new knob. Somebody's put a new knob on. Oh, and those are too stiff. Right, okay. Well, we know it's working. But those knobs are unbearable. Why did they replace the knob? Must have been awful. Okay. Cut the strings. Turn the amp off. Pull the plug. And when I'm doing, I think the neck is in a terrible condition. Sorry, I should say the frets are in a terrible condition. Right, okay. Oh dear, oh, poor guitar. Poor guitar. Oh, it's come out of the wood. That's okay. You can come out of the wood. Oh, because you're tightened down so far that because it's tightened down so far, it pulled out of the wood instead of putting. Now, why would it be tightened down so far to give you a really low neck? But you've got an underbow there, so the neck is going to be worse because it's not a straight neck. Oh gee, it's stiff. Should we fine this chappie for having his guitar in such a bad state? Maybe we should fine him. Maybe 30 days in jail. Maybe 30 years in jail. Right, okay, come on. That's it, come on. Right, that's all going to have to be done. This is going to take this off for cleaning purposes. It really needs a good 100% service. But look at this, I don't know whether you can see it or not. Look at the wear and tear. Can you see the wear and tear in the neck? I'm not sure with that lighting whether you can see it, but it's had a lot of use. Those frets are pretty poor. But let's just keep sticking down to this end. Right. Okay, so it's going to get some WD-40 in those little switches to see if they can be fixed. I'll put a drop. Oh, I'm running out of. No, I'm not. Right. Is get this cleaned up, and I'm going to use lemon oil, very pretty. Lemon oil, pretty sweet. I think it's not. That scratch plate. Look at the screws in the scratch plate. There actually is a sweet looking guitar. I can see the patina of being a used guitar, makes it more valuable, etc, etc, etc. I just, as a man who fixes guitars, would like to see it better taken care of, but you know, I've heard this guitar playing on one of his albums or one of his songs, and it's a nice sounding guitar, but that must have been a few years ago because it's in such poor shape now. So you see, I can talk about artists like this because I'm not charging them. So what do? If they decide not to come back to me after me rubbishing their guitar maintenance, oh, I'm so sad. Oh, not. But at least it's like bringing a little animal in and taking care of it. At least it gets a little bit of love while it's with me. And then it goes out and gets abused again by the bad man with the plectrum. Why is that? What's wrong with that? There's something wrong with that. Right. I'm going to do this. Oops, no, not with that screwdriver. With the big screwdriver. Alright. Okay. Do you want me to take the plectrum off, the plick guard off, just to let you see? You do, don't you? You do. You want me to take the electrics off too, just to let you see, don't you, in the back? SG's a nice guitar, but it needs a nice owner. Bad man. Oh, is that too wide? Yes, it is. My mistake. Sorry. Where is it? A lot of players take the pick guard off because they like some guitar look without the pick guard on, especially in SG. But it's each to their own. Yeah. I think it's got some sort of something spilt up there. I don't think this has ever been cleaned. Right, I'm going to have to use some polish on it to get some of the thick glaur off it. I'll have to use some polish on the pickups. But before I do all that, I'm going to look at the electrics, the back, because I know you're dying to see the electrics. Dirty, dirty, dirty. Right. Mind you, my wiring's never that great either, but it's not as bad as I was thinking. It's not as bad as I was thinking. Nice and clean and neat. Even the pot that's been put on afterwards has been done. Well, there's a wire there that's almost touching the earth, so it shouldn't be doing that. But it's pretty clean and neat. And it means also that I can just get in there and clean the things with a little bit of paper. Right, okay. Fine. Georgie girl wants cuddles. She's pulling at my leg. Why are you pulling at my leg? Let's see if we can do better with this. Put some decent screws on it. Right, I'm going to pull. Oh, Georgie girl's climbing up my back. All right, talk to you later. Right, this is one of the few jobs I can do sitting down, which I'm glad to say. I think what I'll do is do the first 3 frets on camera, and then I'll rush through the rest off camera. Save wasting a lot of editing time on my videos. And wouldn't you know, the first fret, the mother of pearl is higher. The fret, this fret's not awful. What am I talking about, fret? This part of the fretboard is not awful. It's not as awful as the other bits. All the bad parts there. Very sharp blade. You need a brand new blade every time when you're doing this. And if you feel like you're pressing too hard, change the blade again. And keep the movements flowing. If you do feel any judder, go over it again slowly and get the judder out of it. stop and I'm going to give you a raking view of what you see. I'll give you a raking view of what's seen. It still needs to be polished a little bit more. It's not bad. It's better than it was. There's some jutters there that I need to take off, but I'll give you that raking view now. Where's my phone? Hey Siri, where are you? Hey Siri.
I'm here.
Stop hiding. Oh, there you are. Right, okay. This is just, I don't know. Let me just open the blinds so that we've got light on it. And you can see there for yourself. Still there, aren't they? Look how deep that one is. So I'm going to go do my best the whole way down this to about there. Nothing much more needed to be done. And maybe I might need to fill that one. Those still are looking deep, but they're not as deep as where they were. Alright, okay, back to this again. Because that one's so deep, I'm going to try the super glue trick. I'm going to score it a little bit, take out the dirt. It's a fair amount of work to do this, I tell you. Come back to you soon. Now, you may think that looks great. That's the one with the deep score that I filled in, right? But when I go to wet it, let me just get a wet wipe here. Oh, here we got some liquid here. When I go to wet it, it will be a different color and it will come up a different shine. This won't stay like that, but it will look different, but it'll be much more playable because it has a sheen on it, and you can see that it really could do with a little bit of coloring in there too, just to hide some of the crap. But it's a lot better than what it was, and now I'm working on this one, bringing it down. All I'm doing is using a wood file, bringing it down to the wood, and then I use a very fine sandpaper. I haven't done the sandpaper on that one yet, but I'm bringing it down. So, okay. Right, I don't want you to be under any delusions or illusions that this is the perfect way to do it. This will make it playable, but as you can see, it's still, you can still see it. I haven't done any bluffing yet, and I will do some bluffing to make it hide. But this is what you're going to get if you do the way that I've done it. I filled there. You can still see it there and there and there. I didn't go any further with it, and I'm going to. And I've actually done the frets, but I'm going to polish them now. And I'm going to polish them in a slightly unusual way because I'm going to use steel wool, but I'm not going to use any protector. Where did I drop a bit of steel wool? I think I did. What I mean by a protector is I'm not going to use this shield on the frets because I want to get down the sides and I want to get everywhere cleaned. I'm going to do the actual frets like this too, so that I make sure that there's no glue stuck on them and I get a nice even finish on it. So rather than you suffering this, I'm going to come back to you when I'm going to do some bluffing. Or is everything I do bluffing? But there we go. Now you excuse the fans because it's the hottest day of the year so far, and it's only May the whatchamacallit, I don't know, early May. Now I'm going to give this a really good scrub down. Some of those I could not take away because the fret is so thin. So I'm going to give this a really good wash now and a scrub down. But those things that I fixed with super glue will still show. Don't think they're going to vanish. Okay. Now, let it dry. Right, this is rosewood stain. It may not be dark enough, but we're going to try it, do it on this one first, because the other ones will be harder to do. It won't stain the super glue. It'll stain the wood around it. So we won't know until it completely dries what it's going to look like. So we'll come back to you when it's dry. It's dry. Oh, it's drying very quick, isn't it? Well, I'll come back to you when it's dry. There's nothing like watching paint dry. And as you can see now that it's dry, it's hidden a bit more, but it's still glossy there. So compared to that, that's better. So I'm just going to stain the whole neck now, trying to keep away from the, well, the edges will be easy to clean because all you have to do is just use a little razor and it comes off. It's water-based stain, but I don't want to get it near them because they're harder to clean. That means you've got to go around the little edges, although I'm sure I will stain them. Alright, come to you when that's all finished. Okay, the fans are still going, and you'll see there's some of the stains still on the frets, but I've managed to get most of it off the edges, and I managed to avoid doing too much. Well, there's a few there, but I'm not going to worry about them yet because I've got another little job to do that needs to be done before I go there, but I can take them off later. What I'm going to do now is put on some of this to help seal in the stain, and you can see already that you can hardly see the, you can see them, but they're harder to spot rather than you can hardly see them. The bloody hell, the super glue stuff. But when I put this on, it'll hide the super glue stuff even more because it's going to make it shiny a bit. As I say, this is not the perfect way to do it. The perfect way to do it is to take off the beading, take out the frets, sand the fretboard down, and then put everything back together. But I ain't doing that. I couldn't do it anyway. I don't have the tools for it. And I hate fretboard work, redoing frets. Although I've got a bass guitar there that should be fairly straightforward. And the poor gentleman, you know who you are, has been waiting for ages for it. Fortunately, he's a very patient chappy. But it's, I think it's fairly straightforward bass guitar. Needs a fret job on it. Forget the make of it. Now, again, I presume I should say this because not everybody sees this, but this stuff, you put it on fairly well. You put on a little drop of it and you let it soak in, and then you come back 10 minutes later and you try to take it all off again, but it leaves some stuff inside the wood which protects the wood and makes the wood, I think it's probably mostly linseed oil, but it's got some special little chemicals that Crimson guitars only know about. But you don't leave it on for very long. If you leave it on for very long, it'll get all sticky. So don't leave it on very long, just 10 minutes, and come back and polish it off. Put another coat on if you want, but don't leave it on. It gets sticky. So that's sort of looking good, isn't it, compared to what it was? Alright, back later. Right, I've just taken off the excess Crimson guitar oil, and it looks pretty good. I think it's going to end up with one coat. The one thing I don't like now, and I'm going to have this guitar back for a second look anyway, I'm pretty sure, is when I was scraping the frets, no matter how hard I tried, because I had to take so much off, there's some jutter there. It's just appearance, but I don't like it. So when it comes back for its, he needs to bring it, you need to bring it back for an annual service. And when you bring it back for an annual service, I'll give it another look at the whole way through. But in the meantime, I'm going to do this bit and close the blinds because it's reflecting too high around there, isn't it? And lower it down because that might make you see. I don't know whether you can see that or not. But this looks like they're very loose. So let me just see what we got. It'll look good whenever it's all done. So right, I'm going to clean up little bits and pieces. I'm going to do some cleaning of this off camera, try to restore some of that, although that needs to be replaced. I would like to see him, I might even order some witches hats, because witches hat knobs are what this should have. So laters. When I was doing this, that was dirty in there, so I cleaned it out and I put a black marker around it, because when the plate goes on it, it'll look better. But when I was doing this, somebody had tightened the screw a little bit too much and that had come off the edge. So all I'm going to do now is clamp that and put that back on, put some gunky stuff in there, and then put the screws on. I'm going to replace those screws with black screws. So that's about all. Should I do that on camera? Should I do it? Right, okay, let's do it on camera. Awful hard guitar to polish. I spent ages. I actually ended up using wax on it, and it seemed to help a bit, but not great. That's fantastic stuff. This is brilliant. Expensive, but brilliant. But when you put it on, the smell of it is absolutely great. It's the kind of thing you like when you walk into an expensive house and you smell the furniture polish. Whoa! No, I don't have anything to furniture polish in this house. It's all laminates or something like that. All right, okay, bye. Well, that's on now. It's been cleaned up, nice and shiny, and I replaced the screws, because the old screws, the head broke off them. They were rusted inside, and also that's a firm connection, and there's the round headed screws. I couldn't get the tightness I wanted on them, so that's changed. Point out again that fix with the super glue, you can still see it, but it's a hell of a lot better. Now I'm going to move down to the body and I'm going to try again to get it a bit cleaner. It's difficult because of that, whatever that stuff is. Now the other thing is, here's an important thing. This is so rotted, the screws broke off, and that needs to be replaced. So, back in a second. Right, it looks a lot better than when it came in. It's not as good as it can be, but I definitely would suggest this. Well, this needs to be replaced. No choice, or we can't intonate it. But that definitely needs to be replaced, and I definitely recommend replacing those. And I'm saying that now because I had to give up trying to clean this guitar, because I used acetone, and eventually what I had to do was use 4000 grit sandpaper to try to get some of whatever that is off, whether it's ingrained old lacquer or whether it's, don't forget this was when the time when clubs and pubs and bars used cigarettes. But I don't think it's that either. I think it's taking off the lacquer's the main thing. So what I'm going to do is ask him to get that. I can replace it, but I haven't got his permission to do it. Replace that. Put the proper pots on with the proper witch's hat, which I've already ordered for him. I've got a set of witch's hat for my own Les Paul over there, which I'll take off and put there. I'll give him back the other things if he wants to have them, these mix and match, you know, and he can decide himself if he wants to put them back on again. But they're not period style. They're not in keeping with the guitar. And if you replace that and replace the witch's hat, I think you'll have a guitar worth about 1,200 or 1,400 quid, even with the neck the way it is, because it's not a fatal error on the neck. It just needs to be frets taken off and then the planed. Well, it's going to be difficult with those mother of pearl, but you know, this is going to do for another 10 years. All right, next time you see this, it'll have the strings on and the witches' hats on and everything. Well, there we go. This is one of those guitars that's relict, naturally relict, and it doesn't look brand new when it's almost ready to go. But it looks a lot better than when it came in, and everything's put together now and it's much cleaner. I'm repeating myself, I put on the original witch's hat pots and I've removed them. The gentleman can have them back if he wishes and replace them, but I put on those because those are closer to the original. That's all been done. That definitely needs to be replaced, and so does the pots. But I'm going to test the electrics again now that I've done all that, and hopefully it'll all be nice and working now. Let's just see if we got any crackles. No crackles, no crackles. It's on rhythm. Because it's too far down. But let me look at the action of the neck now. Intonation's acceptable, but it won't get any better until we replace that. Let's look at the neck. Just a touch more than I would like. Just a touch more than I would like. I would just want to get that bend out of it a bit more. So off you come again. I would say it's actually, it doesn't look much different from when I started, which is not happily, that doesn't make me happy. I'm leaving the strings on, in case you shout, because I want to see the tension of the strings. What the tension of the string does to the neck. A bit more. Maybe it was very loose. Yeah, that's perfect. Perfect. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay, on my knee now, and we'll see what we can do with it. Well, there you go. Well, I can't say it's not perfect because it's, what is it, 1984, 1981, so it's about 40 odd years old, but it's looking better than it came in, much better, much more neatly. I found a black knob for the switch and it's doing its job. I think after I do this, I'm going to take the back plate off again and give that switch another clean, because it does have a tendency to... It was missing connection in there, so I give it another clean. But as you can see, it's looking pretty nice. Not perfect, but looking pretty nice. A lot better than what it came in. I spent so much time cleaning, and you can see there I still can't get that stuff off, the smudgy marks. That's very frustrating, but it's going to take a buffer. I'm going to have to strip it when it comes back in again, strip it down, take a buffer to it, take a lot of polish and take it outside. And you see around the switches too how dull it is there, but that just needs buffered and polished, and I think it'll be fine. And it sounds like a dream. So it's all working very nicely. Just check the tuning again. It's the kind of guitar you'd want to do some 70s rock, 80s rock music to, but I don't know any 80s rock music. pickup still. Maybe the back pickup could be done. Well, let me just do it while I'm on the thing here. Just raise it a touch more. Not, yeah, that could be too close, but who cares, you know? Anyway, you know I have my amplifier set flat. It's just normal standard, no effects on it or anything. And that is a nice guitar. It's much better now. There's no buzzing. So let me just play my favorite chord, as is my wont. Do you like that phrase? As is my wont. Hey. Wah, wah, wah. Bit of sharpness on it, eh? Let's see. All right, bye-bye. It's going home. Bye-bye. I hope to have it back again and get the proper potentiators put up, my teeth as well, potentiometers put in, and that new bridge fixed. Okay, goodbye.